For nearly a millennium, a vast stone presence has stood firm as a silent witness to history's most devastating storms. Windsor Castle. Seen from afar, it resembles a colossal stone crown resting atop a Berkshire hill, majestic, immovable, and defiant. It is not only the largest and oldest inhabited castle in the world. For the British people, Windsor embodies endurance itself, an anchor that has kept the ship of monarchy from being swept away by the raging currents of time. Yet, step beyond its guarded gates, walk through the long corridors glowing with gilded light and lined with portraits of departed kings, and the boundary between national symbol and family home begins to blur. For Queen Elizabeth II, Windsor was never a stage for power, like the often suffocating Buckingham Palace. To her, it was home, the one place where she truly felt shielded from the world's relentless gaze.
It was where she lived through the brightest years of her youth, and where she chose to quietly pass through the final chapters of her life. Do not, however, be deceived by the solemn calm of those grey stone walls. Behind the heavy oak doors, Windsor holds more than priceless art collections or treasures of human civilization. It is also a vault of the monarchy's most intimate secrets, unspoken griefs, restrained sorrows, and fierce inner battles between royal duty and personal longing. For decades, Windsor was engineered as a fortress to repel external enemies, yet it proved powerless against the undercurrents of rebellion rising from within. Every stone here has learned how to weep. Every room carries its own scar. And now, as we turn the pages of long sealed records, we begin to understand why this castle has been both a sanctuary and the most unforgiving golden cage in the history of the British royal family. The true battles of Windsor were never fought beyond its walls.
They have always raged within.
As the 1980s dawned,
The world looked to Windsor Castle and believed it was witnessing the rise of a new golden age. This was the era of modern fairy tales, of weddings watched by millions and radiant smiles displayed on palace balconies. Many were convinced that Windsor had found its young saviors, a composed Charles, then Prince of Wales, and a beautiful Princess Diana, who seemed to breathe fresh life into ancient stone walls. Yet behind the glittering ceremonies and opulent gowns, a ticking time bomb was quietly counting down. The threat did not come from enemies beyond the walls, but from an irreconcilable inner conflict. Windsor, with all its deep-rooted conservatism and rigid feudal codes, was becoming a golden cage too narrow for spirits yearning to be free. On one side stood vows of eternal duty. On the other, the emerging sense of self of a new generation unwilling to live forever in the shadows. For the first time in history, the most closely guarded secrets, arguments, isolation, and even illicit affairs began to leak through the cracks of trusted circles. Windsor, a fortress designed to repel swords and armies, proved utterly defenseless against attacks launched with tabloid ink and long-lens cameras. Its aura of sanctity began to erode. The walls started to fracture, and a question hung heavily in the air. How long could this stronghold endure before the undercurrents of rebellion brought it down from within? And then, what was inevitable finally arrived. In 1992, catastrophe crashed down upon the House of Windsor with the fury of fate itself. Queen Elizabeth II would later call it Annus Horribilis, a horrible year. But even those words scarcely capture its full devastation. It was not a single blow, but a chain reaction of disasters, falling one after another like dominoes. One royal marriage after another unraveled, in public separations and divorces, each accompanied by deafening scandal. The image of Princess Diana, sitting alone before the Taj Mahal, became a dagger to the heart of the carefully crafted image of a model royal family. Tell-all books, leaked recordings, and private confessions turned Windsor from a sacred sanctuary into a glass aquarium where every wound and humiliation of the royal household was exposed beneath the unforgiving glare of flashbulbs. The mystique of royal authority, the monarchy's most powerful shield, evaporated almost overnight. In its place spread a brutal question across newspaper headlines. Did the British royal family still deserve to exist? Amid the storm of public scrutiny, Windsor stood shaken and isolated. And yet, fate was not finished with them. 20th November 1992, before the ink on emotional wounds had time to dry, a visible catastrophe struck. A halogen spotlight accidentally touched a curtain in the Queen's private chapel, and in a matter of moments, Windsor Castle was swallowed by fire. Imagine the scene. Thick black smoke blanketing Berkshire, blotting out even the moonlight. Hundreds of firefighters battled in near despair as flames raced across gilded ceilings, consumed irreplaceable works of art, and reduced 115 historic rooms to ash. Yet the most haunting image of that night was not the inferno itself. It was the figure of Queen Elizabeth II. Standing silently in a long raincoat, she watched the fortress of her life burn. In her stunned gaze lay the collapse of something far greater than a building, the end of an era. The Windsor fire was not merely a technical accident. It was a merciless full stop. As charred beams crashed onto ancient stone floors, one truth became unmistakable. Even the most immortal symbols can be wounded.
When the ashes finally settled, Windsor had lost more than historic chambers. It had lost the illusion of invulnerability. And amid the smouldering ruins, a stark question emerged. How does one save a monarchy already burning quietly from within? This is the final act of the old script. From here, the story must change tone, moving away from the grey hush of ash towards the light of renewal. What follows is not simply reconstruction, but redefinition. A moment when endurance gives way to purpose, and from devastation rises a vision vast enough to carry a monarchy into a new age. History has shown that Windsor Castle was never meant to fade into ruin. When the last flames were finally extinguished, leaving a hollow, devastated void at the heart of the fortress, the greatest renewal in royal history quietly began. Yet the most daunting challenge was not rebuilding charred beams or re-gilding fire-scorched roofs. It was repairing the fractured bond of trust with the public. Facing fierce opposition to the use of public funds to restore a private royal residence, Queen Elizabeth II made a decision that would permanently reshape the monarchy. She chose humility. For the first time in history, the doors of Buckingham Palace were thrown open to paying visitors to help fund Windsor's restoration. For the first time, the Queen also agreed to pay personal income tax like any ordinary citizen. For 5 painstaking years, master craftsmen worked with extraordinary care, recreating every carving and relief, using the most traditional techniques available. But beneath the fresh plaster lay a new mindset. Windsor had taught the royal family a costly lesson in survival. To preserve a legacy, one must sometimes
relinquish privilege. When the castle officially reopened in 1997, it stood not only more magnificent than before, but renewed in spirit. A monarchy willing to listen, willing to change, and determined to endure in the hearts of its people.
Now, standing before the majesty of Windsor Castle, bathed in golden twilight, we no longer see merely an architectural symbol of power. These 1,000-year-old grey stone walls are, in truth, a vast living diary, recording every breath of a dynasty that has shaped the course of history itself. They have witnessed it all. Fairy tale weddings that held the world spellbound, somber funerals of great monarchs, moments of unmatched glory, and hours when everything seemed on the brink of collapse under the crushing weight of scandal and fire. Yet perhaps Windsor's greatest value does not lie in the priceless treasures safeguarded within its walls, but in the lesson of survival it leaves to future generations. That lesson is simple, yet profound. Stability does not mean standing still.
An institution endures not by building higher walls to shut out the world, but through its ability to heal itself, the courage to confront its own failures, and the extraordinary capacity to adapt after every fall. In Windsor's rebirth, we glimpse the portrait of a modern monarchy, one that knows when to bow, when to sacrifice privilege in exchange for trust, and how to preserve dignity even while standing amid ashes. Windsor still stands, unyielding, enigmatic, and proud, as a reminder that scars from the past do not weaken us. They are proof of the strength it took to survive the storm. The story of Windsor does not end with stone walls. It is a story of people, of inheritance, and of secrets still being written by future generations of the House of Windsor. What trials will this fortress face next? The answer lies in how history is being shaped, even now. Thank you for joining us on this journey through the rise and fall of this immortal fortress.
The royal world still holds countless hidden corners,
Stories of power, love, and betrayal waiting to be uncovered. To make sure you don't miss our upcoming in-depth and dramatic documentaries about the Windsor family, subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications now. Your support is what drives us to continue uncovering the secrets hidden behind palace walls. We look forward to seeing you again on our next journey into history.